yesterday before the sun. The air was damp and full of quiet. Shawled boatmen were waiting on the ghat near my hotel. I chose one who looked kind. We floated the currents of the great Ganga and listened to the city wakening.
Big man this behind that.
I ventured into a new part of Varanasi, walking away from the river on narrow winding streets. The sounds of looms clacking and children speaking quietly came from grated windows. I arrived at a wide boulevard. In short time I was befriended by an outgoing boy with a radiant smile. He showed me this museum. This morning there was a knock upon my door. A tall, regal man, dressed in white, with soft voice and gentle face, stood there. He was a dhobi, come to take my dirty clothes. I went looking for him later, to see where he washed. I found that all of life is lived in plain view. Wedding celebrations filled the street as I returned from a night market. There an old man in a turban had shoved a basket toward me as I was purchasing a red wooden Ganesh. He pulled off the lid and a cobra sprung up. I threw in my money. He left. The shopkeeper and I had a good laugh. As I made my way here, I had no idea it was Shivaratri. Villagers were converging to celebrate at the sacred site. I ended up sleeping on the train station floor. Two women were quarreling about whether the light should stay on or off. Each time it would switch on, a huge cockroach coming from the corner would freeze. I slapped my black rubber thong as a warning. He listened. Next time the light came on, he was gone.
ऐसे ही लोग मंदिर तक आए हैं मंदिर तक आए हैं लोग क्या कर रहे हैं आलू में जाना है
The freedom of independent movement, propelling myself on a squeaky rented bike through farmlands dotted with temples and chirping bird thickets. The cool stone surfaces of the Jain temple were being washed with water drawn from the earth. A groom walked its courtyard proudly, his young day's bride tied to him with the stained bedsheet. Working women jingle. Glass bangles and silver anklets keep beat as they carry loads upon their heads. I felt as if I were a drop within concentric circles of sound. In the distance, a woman shooed a cow, and an unseen animal bell rang. Even further, town. I wonder why sound here stays so distinct.
तुम तो यही लगाओ चौकटर
यही लगी चार रोड़ी बना दो भैया डंडा है कैसे
It was dark still when I heard my name called through the door. We drove in his open-air taxi through the deserted streets of Agra, wrapped tight in our shawls. The sky and dome of the Taj Mahal turned soft pink as I approached. I stood alone in the center and listened as the stone resonated, first with birds and then city sounds. Irregular plots, the size that can be hoed in one day, stretch on either side of the road, fitting together like a giant puzzle. We pass a motorbike with two men in purple turbans covered in pink plastic bags to keep the rain off. After hours of driving, the road begins to wind along a cascading river full of enormous gray boulders. Eagles circle above as we enter the Himalayas. A sound similar to rocks being rolled in waves awoke me. I peered into the darkness and saw the faithful making their rounds at the small stupa across the street. The red, green, and gold prayer wheels spun a blur of color as their hands passed. So many ways to worship. Perched on a steep slope, high above the valley, we gather on the Dalai Lama's plaza. Cold and wet, fresh snow on the peaks above us. Faces expectant, patient, playful, crowd together for the cultural festival. Tibetan, Ladakhi, Nepalese, people of the Himalayas. The clouds race towards Daladar, shooting straight up the side as they hit. walked off the bus into a sea of pushing bodies and shouting taxi drivers. The sky flamed with orange and pink. A young man spoke quietly. I followed. His assistant was waiting in a 3-wheel taxi. They have offered to show me the palaces and observatories built when the Rajputs ruled. The pungent fragrances of a spice market hit my nose as we zoomed past. I swiveled in time to see it disappear in the exotic congestion. This taxi team is proving invaluable as they show me sights not usually seen. The color and glitter of fabric saturate my senses. The snaking silver belts and bracelets jingle their tunes of desire. I have begun my buying spree. We make cloth bundles of treasures, sewed closed and sealed with wax. I feel like Marco Polo.
लाल लगा ले एक पलक तो जा रे लाल एक पलक जा रे जाने के 3 बच्चे रे जाने के 3 बच्चे रे
We wove through huddles of sleeping people at the dark train station. Gopi found my name on the woman's car. He knocked, the door slid open, and an imposing woman admitted me. I turned to say goodbye. Our eyes met just before the door slid shut. I sat on my bunk, remembering that their gracious hospitality had allowed me to relax my traveling alone posture.
कहता हुआ